Hey Sagittarians, how y'all doing? Welcome. We're going to be doing your April general reading here. So let's talk about your very fiery meditation I just had. I saw the Sagittarius collective represented as a fire dancer. Now, full disclosure, I'm not exactly sure what a fire dancer is. But that was what I saw and the words I saw. But it was this image of this embodied as a female energy. Sitting in this very large cave, and it reminded me of the cave, and I saw images of King Louis from Jungle Book, like the gorilla king or the monkey king, like just like me, be like me, something about that, right? And then I saw you guys as this fire dancer with this fire whip, but it was a very thin electrical fire whip. I know, just go with me on this, is what I saw, honeys. And I saw you kind of, cracking that whip and setting ablaze to anything and anyone, honey, around you that from a place of discernment, you didn't have the time of day for any longer. And that feels real. It feels like you're in a position where you may have been called to have, approach with a bit of a softer lens, or be more of a, I respect your right to have your views or be in your energy without me trying to change it or impose my energy upon you or come at you with toxic positivity or whatever it is. And so as a result, I'm going to honor your energy by honoring my own and being within my own energy. But it feels like there's an aspect of you now that's like, all right, enough of that. I honor your right to be you, but as a result, I'm gonna, release you to the four winds. But it feels like it's a lot more dynamic and tongue-in-cheek and empowering than just like, I'm cutting you out. It's not like that. It's more that you are releasing, to the four winds, as it were, anyone or anything that causes you any sort of compromise that goes against your integrity, time, energy, or purpose. Fire dancer. When I think about fire dancer as well, I think about, fire is about transformation, right? And fire burns, honey, but it is absolute and it is highly effective. And oh my God, I'm so not surprised about this. It also acts as a cleansing agent, right? Whenever you want to disinfect something, right? A way to do that, I'm not recommending, I'm just saying, is to run it through fire, right? Over some flame. There's a cleansing agent aspect of this that feels very apt as well. But it feels, when I think about fire dancer, it's at the same time, it's a good time. It's highly creative. It's energized. It's dynamic. Feels like the very strong word about this reading. Dynamic feels like the key word. So we have gazelle fire energy here. So I'm just like not surprised at all by this. So this equates to, even though this is a fire energy, this equates to the 9 of Pentacles in the Tarot, which is just, when I think about a fire dancer, that's very 9 of Pentacles, because she's out there doing what she's good at and loves to do and being successful at it, right? So 9 of Pentacles is about being an entrepreneur. It's about deriving satisfaction from a job well done, feeling independent, and also self-soothing, right? So this is a very independent energy. So this is making sense with what I saw about, cracking that whip and going, I'm standing strong in my, individual self, right? And I'm feeling like anything that, pulls me out of this very empowered, fiery, strong, sensual, dynamic, creative, passionate feeling, it's just, I don't have time for it at the moment, right? You might find yourself saying no to things a little more readily or a little more firmly without really thinking too much about it during this time, but it feels like that's just the ticket, okay? It doesn't feel like a time for you to overthink or really go, oh, I'm thinking about it. No, this feels like a time to do you, honey. And that could be because there's a source of inspiration that you're linking into that wants your time and devotion, because it's leading you towards or empowering further, adding to your 9 of Pentacles existence, which is about, again, monetary abundance, but also loving what you do and getting paid for it, right? Which is a beautiful thing. Now, shadow side of this gazelle energy, because there's a shadow side to every energy. Look at these ears. It's their biological imperatives that they can hear danger from far off, right? So the shadow side of gazelle energy is fear. So what do I say about this? That abundance lies on the other side of fear, right? Look at these fiery colors here, right? Abundance lies on the other side of fear. I feel like for some of you guys, you're coming up against that with yourself. And the thing about the fire as well is that in order for it to burn, it has to be stoked and given air, right? You have to, if you've ever been around a campfire, it does take tending. You do have to tend to it. It just doesn't go on its own all night long, right? So I'm hearing to also tend to your own fire, tend to your own sources and sparks of inspiration right now, right? Because they want to be followed. And anything that, you know, just quote distracts you, if you sit down to work on it or try to follow it or start research or whatever, or meet with someone, whatever have you, oh my God, I can't with this, what just came out with what I just said. Observe yourself in that and go, why am I choosing distraction over this thing that's really exciting me? That's fear, right? That is fear. I was just going to say, commit to it. One of Rose's commit. So, yes, this does equate to sort of an Ace of Cups energy, right? But commitment, this is so apt for this energy, and I'm really, really here for it. So one of Rose's commitment, this is about absolutely committing to whatever it is you're engaging with, right? It's not like a half in, half out. This is going like, hey, this is what it is. You are signing on a dotted line of some sort or another, right? Now, this can be an actual dotted line that you're signing on, whether you're moving into a new home, signing a contract, taking out a loan, you know, marriage, whatever this is. This could be a lot of different things. But I feel like overall, this is a message for you by your higher self being filtered through me right now as you are watching this, saying, commit to yourself. Commit to whatever this is with these roses here, right? Whatever is, you know, pulling your focus right now in a highly positive way, whatever you feel drawn to spend time on, or anyone that you feel drawn to spend time with, do it. Because that's your higher self orchestrating this with and for you, right? It is all under the guise of allowing you to enjoy your Nine of Pentacles existence, right? But commit, right? Your success is going to be directly proportionate to the effort that you put into whatever this endeavor is. Add some. This could not be more perfect, and I'm really obsessed. I'm always obsessed with Sagittarius readings, but I'm extra obsessed with this one. Add some. So back in the Dizzy, whenever a teacher would call roll, you know, today they would say present, right? Billy, present. Annie, present. But back in the day, they would say add some, right? They'd say Sagittarius, add some, right? So this is about, yes, being in the present moment, but also look at this, look at this, look at this, look at this. Fiery flame here, right? I feel like these are related, right? This is about also having support in whatever endeavor this is. Look at her reading a book with this piece of paper and commitment and sitting down and like really taking the time to connect to whatever this source of inspiration or job you have before you, right? She's got support from Mima and Papa, from the ancestors, from the fairy kingdom, from, you know, this guy over here who's coming in like, hey, holler if you need anything, right? All feels very supportive, right? Sitting down with her book, add some as a call to be in the present moment and to show up every day from a place of, you know, I would say even like inventive expectation, where it's not like, you know, your expectations are limitations, but you're setting the expectation with and for yourself to show up and be present with and for yourself every day, okay? It feels like your kryptonite, if anything, Sagittarius. Your kryptonite for the month of April is distraction, okay? So, like, you know, fire with those distractions. I could not be more obsessed. 5 of Scrolls, diversity. I can't with all the paperwork here. Do you see this? Stack them papers. Right? I'm so obsessed. Right. So diversity, this is about, look at all these books here. This is about opening yourself up to the plethora of opportunity, options, choices, people that may be different than anything that you've done before, a different road that you might normally take. Oh, I've never considered that. Let me do that. This is opening yourself up to a lot of different optionality that may surprise you or seem a bit counter to what you would normally go to, right? But also, I'm really drawn to the books here. Whenever that comes in, I'm feeling library angels. What do I mean by library angels? So our higher self, our guides, the universe, whatever that is for you, source energy, right? One way that they direct us in terms of, you know, helping us along our path, getting to where we're going, right, is through, you know, recommendations, books. So if someone's recommending a book to you and it comes up more than once, or it feels the way in which it comes to you feels incredibly apt or important or significant because of the synchronicity involved or whatever have you, that is a note. Please, from your higher self, read this. It's going to help you or inform you or hold some sort of significance in relation to the road or the lessons that you are experiencing or on at this given time, right? So I really feel that there's a lot of like books, recommendations. This can even be like, you know, podcasts as well, or resources or websites or, you know, points of research that are coming to you that are going to help expand your knowledge base and inform you going forward. And I do feel like this has a lot to do with something that is connected to, again, with this Nine of Pentacles, to work or a line of focus that excites you from a soul perspective, okay? So what do I mean by that? I mean, it's an alignment with, you know, why you're here and how you're making your world, piece of the world better than how you found it, okay? Commitment. Wow. So with commitment, we have the Five of Wands. So this is really interesting. So Five of Wands is a competition, it's a struggle, it's a disharmony, right? What did I say about any influences around you, whether they're with, because this can be internal too a lot of the times, whether it's internal or external with people or situations or thoughts within and or around you that are counter to how, you know, you are feeling and going, you know what, I'm going to honor you by going over here. There's a feeling of separation. It feels like a loving separation, but taking not a step back from them, but a step towards yourself. I know it's a bit trite, but that's what it is, right? You ain't got time for this right now. It's like, that ain't it. I'm committing to myself, my own energy, right? And it's this feeling, because it does feel like there's energy around you of unknown and swift change and effort. Remember, wands rule your natural fire sign of the actions that we take. There's also an aspect of this as well where these are the distractions representing themselves, right? Remember what we said? Whenever you sit down to work on something, even if you're really excited about it and you're like, oh my God, I need to wax the floors. That needs to happen now. I mean, I haven't done it in 6 months, but it needs to be now. Like these distractions that come in the guise of like things that need to be done. Let me just do the laundry and then I'll be able to focus on this. That's fear coming into play. That's, you know, recognize it and observe it for what it is and commit to the moment that you're in and this thing that wants your time and your focus and your attention, okay? Add some. You know, I'm hearing a quote. I'm not exactly sure why he's coming up in this context, but I'm gonna go with it. John Mayer, I remember I went to a workshop of his like a long time ago, like a workshop show he was doing. And he said that whenever he had an idea or a hook onto a new song, he would lock himself in a room and not leave until it was done, because he felt like if he left or he distracted himself or got busy with something else, then the song would lose its potency and go away and it would never be finished. And I feel like there's something about that for you, okay? This makes a lot of sense. So we have the devil here to clarify, add some. So the devil, it's interesting here because remember how we talked about gazelle having the shadow side or aspect of fear? And then we have devil here, which is restricted thinking, toxic thoughts, feeling limited. But this is a lot about fear. And then we have the rabbit here. The shadow aspect of rabbit is fear, right? But the light side of rabbit is fertility, abundance, growth, and new beginnings. So it's very similar to this energy of the gazelle, which is abundance lies on the other side of fear. Get out of your own way into the present moment. Open yourself to all of the resources at your disposal and all of the support that you have energetically and otherwise helping you towards this. If you have a feeling or a point of inspiration towards something, whether it's going back to school for something, researching something, starting a project, whatever this is, right? It's for a reason. Follow the thread, right? At least observe it and see if you want to follow it. Don't be so quick to discount or dismiss, right? But this has a lot to do with your unique scope and your unique road. And this feels like it is very much about you and for you, okay? The extent of this group activity with how I'm feeling it is that you have support around you, but this is something that needs to come from you and wants to be born through you. I'm seeing a book, God, what is it called? Big Magic by Elizabeth Gilbert. The work wants to be made, and it wants to be made through you. That's your book recommendation, okay? Wow. 5 of Scrolls, 5 of Swords. So this did come up in the reverse, but I'm going to hold it in the upright because it makes my mind feel funny when it's upside down. So 5 of Swords, traditionally speaking, is being outside of one's integrity, right? Or there can also be aspects of this where, like, 7 of Swords is more self-sabotage, but 5 of Swords is like, it can be a sort of sabotage that also involves, you know, other people, past experiences, or worst case scenario thinking. You know what I'm getting here, especially with this diversity? Remember how we were saying being open to the tools at your disposal, but also recognizing that this has to come with and through you, and to be weary of any, you know, distractions that come in the guise of, you know, must-dos or to-do lists or whatever have you. See these 3 swords here in the background, and then we have the 2 in the forefront, right? Look, I feel the need to talk about these separately. But first, coffee. So, oh man, I just spilled it on myself. It's okay. So when we look at the 3 of Swords, what does the 3 of Swords represent? It represents heart pain, loss, sorrow, mental tension that results from heart pain, vice versa, right? A lot of anguish, not a good time, right? Also, 3 is the number of extremities, so it's a lot of that, right? It's an intense situation and feeling and state of mind, right? Because the swords rule the realm of the mind, right? And then we have the 2 of Swords, which is softer, but it's that aspect of being at a crossroads and taking the time to consider things before moving forward. It's bringing together and holding a conference between the heart and the head before moving forward with more information, right? You are being asked to release, but first you have to acknowledge it, but release any fear of failure. That's what I'm getting with this. Release any fear of failure. This can be a relationship as well, I'm getting. Release any fear that this relationship or the potential relationship that you want to manifest is going to be like any other relationship you've ever had. You know, I'm hearing Dan Savage. He's a advice columnist, if y'all don't know. He has a podcast. You know, he says that, you know, when people talk about relationships, they'll say, like, if one didn't work out, that it failed. It was a failed relationship. It was a failed marriage. But he takes a lot of issue with that, and I completely agree with him on this count. Where it's like, it didn't, just because it ended doesn't mean that it failed. Change is the only constant. Everything comes to an end. And you're saying that the only mark of a successful relationship is if its ending is marked by the death of one or both of the people? There's something about your mindset around this. You're being asked to re-examine your relationship to what success looks like and failure, and also considering in what ways you might, you know, be engaging in self-perceived limitations. Open your mind, broaden your scope, be open to seeing more than you've seen before, right? These are 2 5s here, which are the numbers of great change. Also, technically speaking, even though this is the Akashic Tarot, so this holds a slightly meaning in this context with the diversity, technically this Scrolls or Swords, so you do have double 5 of Swords here, which when put together is 10 of Swords. You're being asked to move on from that cycle and let it die and open yourself up to the wealth of possibility and abundance that is before you. I do feel like it will take a certain aspect of self-vigilance though, but you do have all of the support that you need available, okay? whether in spirit, energetic form, or people around you. Or again, like I said, like the book recommendations, I'm hearing Big Magic by Elizabeth Gilbert. Another one. The Midnight Library by Matt Haig. Midnight Library by Matt Haig. Okay, let's do it. Whoa. I am so obsessed. The Divine Tarantella. You got two. I'll talk about her next. The Divine Tarantella. Do you understand how weirdly similar this is to your opening meditation? Like, I can't with this. Like, she literally has a flaming skirt and is dancing to the beat of her own tambourine. This is... So let's talk about the Divine Tarantella. So this is about the ecstatic dance of ecstasy in order to release any inhibitions and transmute fear. Literally what we've been talking about. Traditionally, Divine Tarantella originally was when you got bitten by a poisonous spider. You would do, a frenzied dance in order to work up a sweat and sweat out the toxins. I feel like you're being asked to work yourself up, connecting to the wild woman or wild man aspect of yourself. Women Who Run with the Wolves by Clarissa Pincoli's Estes is also coming up. Why is this the book club reading? I don't know, but I'm here for it. You have books all over this thing as well. And connecting to your wild nature, which exists outside of fear of failure and self-doubt, right? You're coming from a place of primal instinct and inspiration, stoking that fire and keeping it alive, right? Which means you got to tend to it, right? And go with the flow of it, right? And allow the inspiration and creativity to guide and build. So obsessed. Then you have Air, which is so beautiful. So this is, I think this might be my favorite, because mostly because she's wearing all these rings and I love my rings. So this is about healing, right? Very much about healing. It's about a little bit of this, a little bit of that, mix them together under the right moon phase and voila, right? So this is about healing, but also being an active participant in the brew that you are creating, right? Back to that Nine of Pentacles realness. This is something that she in particular is good at. I'm getting very practical magic vibes, darlings, right? This is something that she particular is good at, and she's engaging in it on her own, under the light of the moon, right? So again, a lot of this is going to be healing within for you around this Nine of Pentacles, independent, individuation, success that you feel good about, right? Sagittarius, I just love this for you. I really do. Definitely check those books out. On a last note, I feel like the more that you not step away from others, but step towards yourself and really commit to whatever this is within for you, you can maybe even be listening to this and go, it feels good, it feels right, but I'm not exactly sure what this specific thread that she's talking about. That's okay, just show up. Just show up for yourself every day and make time in the quiet, in the stillness to read these books, to journal, to be present, to meditate, to be in stillness. The answers lie in the stillness, right? And then allow it to unfold within for you, right? Because it cannot come through if there's, constant television, phone beeping, alarms going on, all this stuff, right? So it's also about allowing yourself to show up and be present for any sources of inspiration or guidance that do want to come through, okay? But this does feel like it's all about you. Last note though, as you do this, there does feel like there's an energy where there might be a lot more people coming towards you as you take a step towards yourself. Be mindful, be there for who feels right to be there for, but also be mindful of your own patterns of, tending to others' gardens before or more than you tend to your own. Okay? All right, Sagittarius, that's what it is. It's your April general reading. I so hope that this helped and resonated. If so, would you please do me the honor and favor of letting me know in the comments below, because I love reading your comments. And with that being said, just thank you. Thank you so much for being here, and most of all, and as always, thank you for being you. And be well. Until next time.